The underline of CHIP is proven results, priceless benefits. And to show you why, I'm going to showcase some of the studies that have been done conducted on CHIP. Now, if you're not a research buff, I don't want you to tune out because this is actually very exciting stuff. Trust me. Indeed, it's the evidence-based supporting CHIP that has resulted in it being regarded by many of the greats in the field of lifestyle medicine as one of the world's premier lifestyle interventions. In fact, the CHIP has even received accolades from the New York Academy of Medicine. But I want you to come back with me to 1998. Because in that year, in the British Medical Journal, a paper was published that reviewed all of the studies that had been conducted to look at the impact of diet on reducing blood cholesterol levels, which is, of course, a well-established factor for cardiovascular disease. Now, to quote the paper, they said this: "This systematic review suggests that dietary advice to free living..." Now, I need to point out here, folks, that free living isn't like peace, brothers and sisters. It's free living in terms of people living in their normal environments as compared to residential programs. But they went on to say that dietary advice to free living subjects can be expected to reduce blood cholesterol levels by only 3 to 6%. Now, that's not exactly inspiring, is it? You know, it was concluded that general population health education campaigns are of limited effectiveness. Now, that is all a bit glum, but in that same year, dun, 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 here comes the rousing music, Dr. Hans Diehl published his first paper in the American Journal of Cardiology, which documented the effectiveness of CHIP in approximately 300 participants living freely in their communities. And he found reductions in blood cholesterol levels several-fold of those suggested in the BMJ article. In fact, on average, females experienced an 11% decrease in their cholesterol levels. Bear in mind that the BMJ report had suggested 3 to 6% was what could be expected. And males, on average, experienced a 21% reduction. You know, this is within 30 days, I must add. And if you ladies are feeling a bit put out that the men did so much better, well, don't, because, hey, you still live longer. Well, Dr. Diehl also observed a 20% reduction in the males in their LDL cholesterol, those little devils or the bad cholesterol. And the ladies, their triglyceride levels plummeted by over 20%. And once again, this is within 30 days. But before you get too excited, the males fell by nearly 40%. Yeah, but Dr. Diehl noticed other benefits as well. For example, the participants reported an improvement in their emotional state, their mental health. They just felt better. Some of those who had suffered from angina reported substantive improvements within weeks. It was like that elephant lifted from their chest. The participants reported increased energy levels, which of course is a beautiful thing. And many were able to reduce and eliminate medications for high blood pressure, diabetes and hypercholesterolemia. Ratings of chronic pain reduced. Constipation resolved. I don't want to say too much about that, so I'll just keep moving right along. And some of the men sidled up to Dr. Diehl at the end and said, "Hey, I don't know if you've included this as a focus of the study, but I've got to tell you, there's some interesting things happening to parts of me that haven't been really operational for some time now." The outcomes presented in the paper caught the attention of a physician from Rockford, Illinois, by the name of Dr. Roger Greenlaw. And Dr. Greenlaw went on to secure over $1 million to conduct 2 large randomised control trials on CHIP. And many publications arising from these studies have unequivocally demonstrated that CHIP powerfully reduces chronic disease risk factors in as little as 30 days. These outcomes have now been published in over 20 peer-reviewed publications in medical and scientific journals, which makes it, to my knowledge, one of the most well-published community-based lifestyle interventions in the world. One of the most recent CHIP publications, which appeared in the American Journal of Cardiology, really excites me for 2 reasons. Firstly, because it was led by my group, the Lifestyle Research Centre, to whom I belong. But secondly, it documented the outcomes of over 5,000 CHIP participants from the United States. The lead author of that paper was a PhD student of mine, Paul Rankin. Now, here's a shot of Paul on his wedding day. And I know that you ladies are all thinking, well, we missed out, didn't we? And of course you did. This, however, was Paul 8 years ago. Now, while he's still a good-looking guy, his health was not in a good place. But if you thought he was good looking then, this is Paul today. And we haven't even stretched this photo. Paul now weighs in at about 60 pounds or 30 kilograms less than he did 8 years ago. You know, Chip gave him his life back. And there are so many stories like Paul's, and I'm always mindful as I'm presenting research data not to lose sight of the fact that the numbers represent changed lives like Paul's. In fact, it's estimated that over 50,000 or 60,000 individuals have completed CHIP worldwide. But back to the article. What did we find? Well, on average, among this huge cohort of over 5,000 participants, they experienced an 11% reduction in total cholesterol, which is about twice as good as the BMJ report that I mentioned earlier had claimed feasible. But while 11% is impressive, it belittles the story because many people who do CHIP don't have elevated cholesterol to start. And so more detailed sort of stratified analysis reveal that those individuals who did enter the program with elevated cholesterol levels experienced a 20% reduction. This is on average. Yeah, that is males and females combined. And those with elevated triglycerides experienced on average a 44% reduction. I mean, this is huge. You know, blood pressure significantly came down as well. Body mass index decreased by over 3% in the first month. And those with fasting blood sugar levels indicative of diabetes reduced this measure by approximately 20%. In fact, get this, 43% of individuals who entered the program with fasting blood sugar levels indicative of diabetes, that's over 125 milligram per decilitre or 7 millimole per litre, no longer held that status by the end of the intervention. And as medication changes were not tracked in this large study, these results were likely dampened by the reductions in medication that are really common in the program. You know, these are amazing outcomes, and the American College of Lifestyle Medicine presented the results in their website stating, "This study demonstrates some of the most impressive recorded clinical changes ever in the literature." We have subsequently replicated this study in Australia, New Zealand and Canada and found essentially identical outcomes. You know, CHIP continues to be surrounded by an intensive research effort, and it's currently being studied by the team I belong to at the Lifestyle Research Centre, as well as other international institutions. You know, in a recent study of CHIP in a workplace setting, that is the Vanderbilt University and Medical Centre, which involved people with type 2 diabetes, found a return on investment of over $2 for every dollar spent on conducting the program. The CHIP participants reduced their medical service utilisation costs by 43%, while the individuals in the control group increased their costs by on average 13%. About 1 in 4 participants who completed CHIP eliminated the need for 1 or more medications within 6 months. Now, of course, one question that's always asked is, but does CHIP work in the long term? And to address this question, we recently conducted a follow-up study in the town of Hara in New Zealand, where Dr. Trevor Hurlo has conducted community-based CHIP interventions for over 5 years. We invited past CHIP participants who had completed the program 3 to 5 years previously to participate in the study. And what did we find? Well, after an average of 4 years, participants with elevated biometrics when they entered the program maintained significantly lowered body mass index, diastolic blood pressure, total cholesterol and triglycerides. In fact, triglyceride levels were on average down 27% compared to when they first entered the program 4 years previously. You know, noteworthy, 70% of the participants in that study claimed that they still practice most or all of the lifestyle principles presented in the program. And you know, while words are cheap, these individuals, when we consider the analyses, did demonstrate even greater weight loss and a significant reduction also in their fasting blood sugar levels, in addition to the measures that I'd already listed. You know, I hope you share a vision of the potential of lifestyle medicine to change the face of healthcare, and that excites you like it excites us. And in fact, we would welcome your involvement in the research effort. At the Lifestyle Research Centre, our goal is to spearhead the world's largest lifestyle intervention study, to develop a greater understanding of how best to use lifestyle medicine interventions in clinical, community and corporate settings. We will be collecting data on CHIP participants from around the globe, and we're very excited about the potential of this data to inform best practice in lifestyle medicine. You see, I believe a new day is coming when lifestyle medicine will be embraced as the preferred remedy to the burgeoning rise of chronic disease. And we would love to partner with you and together champion and drive this movement forward.